How do you know if your house has foundation issues? In North Texas, that's a big concern and a big ticket item for a lot of buyers when they're looking at a house. So how do you know what to look for? Well, today I've invited foundation expert and inspector Jay Hudman with MBR Foundation Repair to take a look at a house that for our buyers that we have under contract who had those very same concerns. And Jay is going to walk us around the house and show us exactly what he looks for. Now, he's been in this business for over 20 years and has literally seen thousands of houses across DFW, and he knows what he's doing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Jay has to say about this particular house. Hey, it's Mark, and I want to help empower and educate you on your journey through home ownership. All right, Jay, we're looking at this. Show me what you're looking for.
Well, in this particular instance, the customer was concerned about these cracks here and here. So brick is a veneer. It's not a structural component of the home. The wood frame is the actual house. But the nice thing about brick is it's going to tell you when the house is moving. So these particular cracks, this one, for example, here opens up more here. And as we follow it up, it terminates up in here. So there's no cracking up in here. So what this tells me is one of two things. There's either a sag in the wall or part of the foundation has pushed up. And because we've done a little previous investigating, we know that this corner has pushed up a little bit and it causes this crack to open like this. If that was falling, the crack would be open there and it would be opening in this direction here. So we had a drainage issue on this side that's been corrected through here. And if you look on there's a French drain there that's running back and capturing the water here, taking it out to where it needs to go, which is away from the house. So these cracks are cosmetic in nature and just indicative that this part of the house, this part of the garage area, had elevated somewhat. Other things we start to look for as we walk this way, we're going to look for obvious signs of movement, which will include freezeboard movement, which will show you some examples of where it's not on this particular structure, but what to look for, and window separations as well. So this house is about 43 years old, and it's obviously had some windows replaced. And you can see that everything is nice and tight in this frame here. This doesn't indicate pulling in any direction, okay? And when you have new windows, you can always look up in here and see, was there an old gap there that somebody filled in? Nothing going on there. So that's one of the things that's going to show us at the weakest point in the wall, which is going to be doors, windows, areas around garages, anywhere you have trim up next to the brick veneer, it will separate. If it's moving, it will separate because it's kind of a natural expansion joint. So then we go over here and we have a transition to a different type of siding. Looks like they came in and put some hardy board on here, cement fiber. We look here and everything looks good through here. There's no obvious signs of movement up in here.
So if there's movement, you would see separation.
There would be separation. It's going to indicate whether the wall is going this way or the other way. Right. So if I had separation on this side over here, that would be a good indicator that my wall is going down there. If it separates on this side here, it can indicate that it's going the other direction. There's no hard and fast rule with all of this because sometimes it will separate on both sides, but generally speaking, if it's separating on one side, it's moving that direction. Let's talk about these real quick. These are exposed post-tension cable ends here. So an inspector will bring these up because they're required to, and the idea behind these is you don't want them to rust. And cover that they put on it will pop off over time. You just fill this in with a hydraulic concrete, which you can purchase at Home Depot or Lowe's, and just coat it on there so that the cable ends don't rust. Also looking for drainage issues. Obviously this has been corrected, which is good. Corner pops here. These are very, very common in slabs, and they do not represent a structural issue.
What causes those, Jay?
I've heard many different things. The drying of the concrete, the way the concrete is floated out, and then we're going to add all this weight to the corner. So it could be a couple of different reasons.
Okay.
But it does not represent anything structural.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we see those probably just about almost every inspection.
Almost every slab. And again, we've got good window here. Obviously new windows in good condition here. These are your freeze boards here. There's no separation in them. So these would rotate out if the corner of the house was moving at all. And nothing going on here. Windows all look good in here. And obviously we're also looking for cracks in the foundation. But most of our inspection initially is going to be looking up, because if it moves a little bit down here, it's going to transfer up. It's going to show us a lot more. So that's why we're looking up most of the time. If I'm actually looking at the foundation and it's got a lot of cracks in it, we're going to be looking at putting some work on it.
All right.
So around chimneys, areas like this, I'm looking for any kind of separation up in there. We've already checked this out and it looks really square. Everything looks good here and up in here. No pulling, the chimney's not leaning out. Windows looking good here. This is an addition here, so that's not actually a crack, it's just an addition where they took in a porch. So this is an example of what is called a ghosting door. We open the door, and it wants to open by itself. A couple of things caused this. Well, one thing specifically caused this on this particular example. If you look out the window out the front here, the yard slopes towards the structure. There was a drainage problem, it's been corrected. So what that has caused is some minor uplift on the front of the house as a result of the drainage over the years. So that causes the house to kick up just a little bit. Doesn't always mean there's an issue.
Okay.
And then we go to our door, which is opening this way, which is going to cause it to open by itself. And this is also a heavy steel door as well, with a glass insert.
Okay.
Okay.
So not necessarily something to be concerned about.
No.
I guess it could be an indicator given other factors, but in this case, it's really not.
Yeah, this one's not a problem because we've already looked and we're looking for any kind of signs of patching over the doors and windows to see if there was ever any kind of cosmetic work done. All of this looks pretty pristine as far as original texture. Doesn't look like any patching has taken place. And even if it has, that doesn't always indicate an issue. Let's see. Yeah, this house is actually pretty clean. There's some minor stuff going on. Of course, the back too, it's 43 years old, and you're going to see a little bit. But those are generally the things on the exterior that we look for. Obviously, on the interior, we're looking for cracks, sloping floors and things like that. You will typically find slope in a slab. I've never measured a level one. I'm close. I've come pretty close, but all of them have some sort of slope in them. I think that's about it.
Okay. All right. All right, Jay. Well, I appreciate you coming out and
You're welcome.
Giving us a little, checking out this house for me. And I'm sure the buyers are going to be happy to know that there's nothing that needs to be done. But I appreciate all the information. It's good stuff to know. So
You're welcome,
at a house.
man.
Well, that was some great information from Jay, and I hope it was helpful for you when it comes to looking at your home's foundation and knowing what you need to be looking for. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Share it with your friends so that more people can get this good information. And we'll see you next time.